get a ton of questions all over the internet about how to get into real estate photography if you're a beginner. And I thought I'd make this short video explaining what I would do if I had to start over from scratch and I somehow lost all my knowledge about real estate photography. If you don't want to watch this whole video, I've put timestamps into the description below that lets you skip ahead to the section that you're most interested in learning more about. So go ahead and check that out if you'd like to do that. From the get-go, there's a couple different routes that you can take your business. A lot of people see the words real estate photography and think that photography is the main way that they can make a lot of money, and that just isn't true. I feel like I say this in every single video I make. Pricing for photography is super competitive, which leads to profit margins that aren't super amazing. You'll make all your money from add-on services like virtual tours, listing videos, floor plans, drone photos, and videos, listing websites, and more. I'm sure all that sounds super intimidating, but it's really not that hard to do. Once you learn just a bit about it, you can subscribe to this channel. I'll show you how to do all of it anyways. So the first route you can take is just being a photographer only. In this scenario, you can expect to make between $150 to $250 per listing, depending on your market. The second route you can take is being a full suite real estate photographer and provide all those additional services I just mentioned. Doing it this way, depending on your market, you can expect to make around $500 to $1,500 per listing. You don't have to do it all right out of the gate when just getting started, but just so you know, all you need to provide 2D and 3D floor plans is your cell phone, and if you have a nice newer iPhone like the 13 Pro Max or newer, you can use something like that and something like a DJI Osmo Mobile 6 cell phone gimbal to make listing videos. So right out of the gate, you can provide photography, listing videos, and floor plans, which will get your average revenue up somewhere between $400 to $700, again, depending on your market. Okay, so that's that out of the way. Let's go over what you need to know about getting into real estate photography. First, your gear. For photos, you'll need to make sure that you have a camera that can shoot bracketed HDR photos and a suitably wide-angle lens. It's up to you how much money you really want to spend on both of these things, but if you go crop sensor, you can pick up any of the Sony a6000 series camera bodies. This is the a6600, which carry a 1.5x crop factor and use the E-mount lens system. And you can pick up something like a Sony 10 to 18mm f4 lens, or you can pick up a Canon M50 Mark I or II, doesn't matter. These things come with a 1.6x crop factor and use the EFM lens mount, and your best bet for real estate photos with these cameras is an 11 to 22mm f4 to 5.6. These cameras work fine, and I used them for a while, but because Canon carries a 1.6x crop factor and the widest you can go is 11mm on a native lens, the widest you'll be able to shoot is about 17mm, which may be too narrow for your market, whereas the Sony's crop sensor, the 1.5x alongside a 10mm lens, is a 15mm equivalent. Just food for thought. If you go for a full frame, you can use a modern mirrorless camera and expect to spend at least $1,000, or you can go for an old DSLR like me. I'm using a Canon 5D Mark III, which you can find between $400 to $500. This will let you go super wide. I personally use the Sigma 12 to 24mm f4 EF mount lens, which is a beast. And we don't want to take pictures handheld, so you'll also want to pick up a newer ball head that looks like this, alongside an Arca type universal base plate that looks like this, and a very sturdy tripod like the Slik DX700 Pro. If you want to check out a video of all the gear I use, you can find a link to watch that somewhere above my head. As far as getting good at photography, there are really only 3 things you need to get good at in order to take good real estate photos for sale. The first one is how to nail your verticals. If your camera is angled too far down, up, left, or right, then you'll notice wonky verticals on the left and right and anywhere in the frame that will result in a lame final product. Get good at these, it's super important. Next is your horizontals. If you're taking a photo straight on, you want to make sure the lens is directly facing the wall. Too far to the left or right, and you get skewed horizontals, which also look lame. Get good at this as well. As far as tripod height goes, you'll want to get as much of an equal amount of ceiling to floor as possible for a nice looking image. Too low and it looks weird, and too high and it also looks weird. So go for as close to 50-50 as you can. For camera settings, there's a whole video I have coming soon on my channel, so subscribe if you want to see that. Otherwise, the basic outline is to shoot in manual mode, and your aperture should be f8. ISO should be relatively low to reduce noise. I put mine on 320, and your shutter speed is the only thing that will change to get proper exposure, which I also have a video coming soon on my channel about as well. You'll want to set up HDR bracketing for your camera, and I also have a video on how to do that for both Sony and Canon cameras, also coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. But for photos, you'll just want to practice as much as you can. At this stage, it doesn't really matter what you're taking a picture of, you're more trying to nail down your skills as much as possible, so take pictures inside your home or apartment, inside your room, living room, kitchen, bathroom, garage, anything just to get used to using the proper settings and getting good at your skills. If you're interested, I have a comprehensive shot list complete with image examples and camera settings that you'll want to use, so you can grab your free copy of that in the description below to help you out. Building your portfolio. This is when the grind really starts. You'll want to have at least a semblance of a portfolio put together before you start reaching out to realtors to try to get paid work. But how do we do that? Well, clean up your living room, clean up your mom's living room, clean your kitchen, clean your room, and start taking photos of everything. Do you know anybody with an Airbnb? Do you know any realtor friends? Ask them if you can take photos of their property. Call up realtors and let them know you're a new real estate photographer and you're trying to build up a portfolio, and see if they'd be willing to let you take photos of their listings. Anything you can do to get inside of a semi-decent looking house and take some photos to use as your first portfolio, you should absolutely do. As you start getting more paid work, you'll slowly be able to replace the images in your portfolio with nicer ones that you've taken for your clients. But, just get going. Anything's going to be good enough for now. Just get good at what you're doing. But here's what comes next. Now it's just doing your best to get more clients, provide more services, get better at upselling, enter new markets, do more commercial projects, and land more preferred vendor positions to really scale your business to the $5,000 to $10,000 per month level. If you're interested in getting one-on-one help with me as your coach, walking you through every step of the process to go from beginner to professional real estate photography business owner making $5,000 or more every month, you can apply for my coaching program in the link below. So let me know what you think. What would you do if you had to start over in your business? Or if you haven't started in your business yet, what do you think about what I talked about in this video? Do you have any questions or ideas about videos you'd like to see me talk about next? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.